Just to preface this video, I am gonna be using all these headphones with the FiO E10K DAC amp combo. I have a review for the FiO E10K if you want to watch that. Hello, this is gonna be a comparison between the GSP 500 and HD 598 SR, both by Sennheiser, with the purpose of this video mainly being to help those who are trying to buy this to actually figure out what's better about each other and which one to buy. I know there are a lot of professional videos about this, but this is honestly just to help a consumer such as myself. So here we go. So the build quality of the GSP 500 is very good. It feels rugged, it's quite heavy, and it's made of mostly hard plastics, with the exclusion of the microphone, which is actually made of maybe a soft touch plastic. It has a rubbery sort of feeling. This piece itself, the metal, well, I mean, it looks like metal, it's actually just hard touch also. The cloth padding on the ear cups and the headband both feel like premium cloth. Not quite as nice as the suede or velour or whatever it's on here, but it is still much better than anything you would find on pretty much any other headset, such as the cloth on Logitech's the G933, for example. So it's quite heavy, so it does feel very premium. And moving on to the HD 598, the build quality on this is actually, it's good in a different way. So it feels very light, and because of that, the hard plastics on here, to some people, I guess, would feel a little cheaper than this. But overall, I would say it feels high quality. It feels extremely light, and there's nothing really to complain about. There is some leather up on top by the headband, and this has these sort of suede ear pads, which feel great. Moving on to the comfort, it's no contest. The comfort on the HD 598s is 100 times better than of this. Honestly, I can't even wear this for more than an hour without starting to feel uncomfort, especially on the crown of my head. So you can see right here, the padding actually comes to a dip right where it should actually have the most padding, and due to the weight of this, it's just uncomfortable, especially with the clamping force of the ear cups. You can see right here, even in the resting position, they're coming together, and that just gives you an idea of how much pressure it's going to put on your head when you put it on. As for the comfort of this, it feels amazing. It's extremely light, and honestly, you can wear it, and I've had nothing that can compare to this. I have M50x's, I have Logitech G933s, I've had PlayStation Gold headset, many headsets. This feels the best, just due to the weight and the material of the cloth padding. Feels like your ears can breathe, there's no heat buildup, and I can wear this any day of the week. I'm sure you know that already just by watching other better reviews. As for the sound quality, while sound is always subjective, this is going to be my opinion, and I would guess that this is the opinion of most people. So the sound, I would say the drivers are probably similar in fashion, as they're both Sennheisers and from relatively both recent generations. I would say what the big difference between these is the sound signature. The audio on the HD 598s has a very warm feeling. The treble and the bass do not particularly shine, but they're very soft in a good way. And the mid-range is brought forward, so it has a curve like this where the mid-range sticks out and everything just feels nice and soft, very easy on the ears. Everyone's voices sound very full. I hate to say the word natural, but it does have a very natural sound. The sound of the HD 598s when listening to movies, video games, or music is very easy on the ears. I was listening to different audio for several hours yesterday, and this never once did it make my ears feel uncomfortable, or did it feel like I was wearing headphones. You can listen to this forever. It honestly feels like that. It feels like you're talking to someone in real life. As when you speak to someone in a room, it has a sort of soft feeling to their voice or thuds or anything, and nothing's quite grating on the ears, as many headphones kind of overpronounce things to make them sound clearer than they do in real life, such as with the M50x's, which while they provide superior clarity to these with the high end, and a bit of tighter bass, this just sounds almost soft and amazing in that way, where you can listen to this forever, enjoy your music. It just feels natural. You don't want to take these off. You don't want to wear anything else but this. Especially when watching movies, with these, you feel like you're almost there with them. You forget you're wearing headphones, especially due to the comfort and the sound signature. I am going to bring the Audio-Technica M50Xs into the discussion because I do own a pair myself, and I know they're very popular, so I'm going to compare them a bit when talking about music, movies, and games, as well as I'm bringing this into the discussion. But you'll see why I'm talking about these more so than this, because it's really, for me, it's not much of a contest. Whenever watching movies, you feel like you're in the room with these headphones, as people's voices sound very full, and the room itself has a presence. It's not a hollow sort of 7.1 surround way, as with the G933s and their 7.1 surround, the Logitechs. But it just sounds like they're not enclosed in your head. And never at one point when listening to these, especially with the comfort, do you feel like you're wearing headphones and watching a movie. You just experience the movie. And with the M50s, they do provide a bit of crisper sound if you're trying to hear every little detail, but it is a bit grating on the ears, and people's voices sound a bit less, have less of a presence. You are very aware that you're listening to headphones. It feels like the audio is in your head, and I would say that kind of takes away from the movie. It makes you not be as immersed. So with this, movies, it definitely takes the cake. So when watching movies with these, I think in general, I'm just gonna kind of give the rap on these. For sound, it just sounds like a tuned version of these, where for here the mid-range is pulled back and the treble and low end, the bass, are both pushed just a little bit forward, with the treble being pushed a little bit farther than the bass. And I assume Sennheiser does this for gaming reasons. Maybe they think, well, they probably know competitive gamers want to listen to footsteps and hear every detail. They get a competitive advantage in video games over these. But with these, let's just say I was playing Rainbow Six, and when you reload a gun or something, this starts to grate on your ears. It gives the sort of impression of this where the treble is so crisp that it sounds unnatural and a bit grating on the ears if you have it at high volume. Whereas here, it sounds very clean, but it doesn't intrude on your ears or your soundscape. So in general, I would say they sound worse. They sound kind of hollow compared to this. It sounds like it's missing the body, the mid-range, and it's choosing to over-enunciate the treble. So moving on to music. With music, it's kind of strange. I would say this wins. I listen to a lot of EDM, lo-fi, a lot of electronic music and hip-hop, and I would say a tiny bit of the other genres. But testing these, the clarity that comes through with these M50Xs beats out both of these. If you directly compare each back to back, these feel like they're lacking a sort of clarity in the high notes of the songs. The M50Xs feel a little bit tighter and cleaner and everything for the music. And when you're trying to just listen to the rhythm and get into it, you don't really care about the natural sound of things or how nice the experience is on your ears. You just want to like get grooving. These are better. It sounds clearer. There's the bass is a tiny bit tighter, and because you can't hear the outside, it's just in your head and you're just grooving. These, I guess, would take second place. You can instantly tell when you switch them. It feels like if you're to compare it in your ears, while this doesn't sound bad, if you switch quickly between them, it sounds like there's a blanket over the voices and high end at the whatever electronic noises they make in EDM and stuff compared to them 50s. But the mid range is enunciated a lot more. So maybe if you listen to like country or things with a lot of mid range, whatever music that may be, since this enunciates that more, maybe that'll be better for you. But for EDM, hip hop, stuff like that, these are going to do you better. And I'm just going to say flat out, these are trash on music. Don't use this for music. Since it's missing the mid-range, it sounds hollow. The music has no presence. They're just garbage. It's not garbage, but it's not comparable to these two. If you're paying this sort of money, don't buy these for music. Moving on to video games. I'm used to playing on the M50Xs and the Logitech G933s, but I'm going to leave the Logitechs out of here for now. The M50Xs to these, when you listen to the M50Xs, the gunshots feel clean, but since this is lacking a bit of mid-range compared to this, it feels like the gunshots or anything in general is missing a bit of body. And you are also aware that this is in your head, so the video game sounds like if you're trying to hear every sound through your headphones, it feels like it's in your head. With here, same as movies, you kind of forget that it's on your head, and especially when reloading or shooting guns, it's never grating on the ears. It sounds clean, not crisp, and that's good because when you're shooting people for so long and reloading and doing all that, this feels much better on your ears. And the mid-range makes everything have a sort of presence. If you're in a room, it feels very natural. Moving on to the GSP 500s for video games, I would say this is also still better than the M50Xs. The M50Xs are, since they're closed back and they're studio monitoring headphones, they feel in your head. The game has no presence and it's not optimal. So I'm gonna leave that out. Takes the third place right there. Between these two, while this is made for gaming, the only advantage it has is you can more clearly hear footsteps, but the enjoyment of the audio is lacking. Since it doesn't have that mid-range, it doesn't feel full. It doesn't feel like you're buying headphones that are supposed to envelop you and just bring you into a game. These do. You forget you're wearing these. The mid-range is warm. You just feel like you're part of the game, and you can appreciate these in the subtle way that they make you forget about them. And these, they just don't. And gaming, especially, you're going to wear these for a long period of time while gaming. These feel uncomfortable. In the moment you put it on, you're aware that you're wearing headphones. You can never forget that you're wearing headphones, as the clamping force on this is strong enough that you feel like a presence. Just put your hands on your head right now where headphones would be, and not even applying too much pressure. Just have your hands there, and that's how it feels. It feels like you constantly feel an object around your ears. And then, especially after about an hour, this starts wearing on the crown of your head and it becomes uncomfortable. You can move this around, and this really, when you put it up, you feel more weight on the headband. When you put it down, you feel more weight on the ear cups. But either way, it's still pretty uncomfortable. These, you forget about it, great. These, not as uncomfortable as these, but after maybe 3 or 4 hours, you do feel a little bit of pressure right on the headband, but I wouldn't say it's too bad. If you're buying these for music and then you're doing video game secondary, this is still a great option. I'm sure you can find these for a great price right now. These are currently on sale over holiday. I'm sure you can find them sales throughout the year around a low $100 range. Above 100, but I mean like in the low range. And these, you can find this in the high range of the hundreds. I have to defend these a little bit, which stating that you do get a microphone for the about $60 extra you're paying over these, when on sale, that is. But the microphone itself, I've done a lot of audio tests, and at least plugged into my motherboard, the microphone that is, it's not so much of an improvement over really any other headset you can get. It's not quite streaming quality, and so I wouldn't say that's worth it. I would say it's better, because for about the same price, you can add a mod mic to this one, and it'll sound much better. So while this is all in one, I still don't quite recommend that. So this is a microphone test for the GSP 500s. As you can hear, while sounding decent, it doesn't quite sound as amazing as I've heard it on other YouTubers' videos. And I'm not sure whether that's due to my motherboard or what they have instead of me, because this is going straight into my motherboard. And I own a gaming laptop from 2015. In that year, it was basically top of the line, so I'm not sure why it wouldn't sound decent,
But yeah, this is what it sounds like. It's good, but you can buy better for this same price. So this is the same headset, but this time I am doing a little bit of audio work in Audacity to try to make it sound better, just to give you an idea of what it can sound like with a bit of work.
In conclusion, for the price, and I guess just in general, because I bought these with some saved up money, so it's not much of a concern the price here. I was just trying to get what is best for an overall media experience. I would recommend these. These are the best option. These don't have 7.1, these don't have a microphone, they're not gaming, but they're perfect for it. I have tried out other games like Dark Souls 3. I tried some Fortnite, sorry, and Rainbow Six Siege. Mostly Rainbow Six. I was playing with these, and I watched a couple movies. Interstellar. I watched some TV shows. I listened to hours and hours of music. A lot of hip hop, EDM, and I'm gonna give it to these. You shouldn't buy this really in any scenario. I guess these have a dial. I don't know. These are the best. Second place. Third place overall. For gaming, first place, second place, third place. For music, first, second, third. I don't know if I already talked about movies. I don't know. Movies? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, these are just worse version of these. Don't buy these. They're uncomfortable. If you don't have comfort in your headset, it's worthless. You don't want to wear something that hurts, takes you away from the game. This feels good. This doesn't. That feels alright. Audio quality. This feels warm. Perfect. I can't really think of when you would buy this. If you're only playing video games, the difference between these is, I would say this sounds 20% better than these. And this sounds 50% better than those. The microphone does not justify the price, especially when this is about half, 50% more expensive than these when on sale. And yes, the build quality is more solid, but it does not feel good on your head, and I doubt these are gonna break. I mean, look, I can pick this up with one finger. This is light. Let me try to pick this up with one finger. Ooh, heavy, right? I don't know what else to say. Cables not included, braided, not braided, doesn't matter. Buy these. Yeah, man. Buy these if you're doing editing. You can hear every detail with these. Music's pretty fun, but video games are lacking.